Still spitting leaner than your mug when you're looking.
Opportunity called, I said be right up. His work closed regardless of the attire. Bit brimstone just to spit this fire. The damn mission of a writer. Opportunity called, I said be right up. His work closed regardless of the attire. Bit brimstone just to spit this fire. The damn mission of a writer. To whom it may concern, I'm on the side of life where the blunts get burned. On Marion levels of undisturbed. How do black myth? Y'all don't give a fuck, just earn. Student of life, I just come to learn. Say you're motherfucking right when you call him a nerd. Boy, he nothing like them fake dummies. Boy, plotting on Bill Gates money. Lead a game, come back just to be your favorite rookie. Nice with the grammar, she ain't even baking cookies. They can't stand him, paraplegics with the footing. Still spitting meaner than your mug when you're looking. Can't tolerate your hating ass. Favorite day of the week is when a hater pass. I'm just stating facts, y'all ain't saying that. Me versus them, that just ain't a match. Guy rhyming on demon time, that's word to Edrican. New Orleans nigga, let him have it like the special man. My style type competitive, that style's quite the sedative. Omni be the greater cheese balls getting shredded with excellence, thoughts brighter than Edison's. Nobody but the Almighty can ever be ahead of him. Put the effort in till it's effortless. Y'all won't see a guy get devilish. Opportunity called, I said be right up. His work closed regardless of the attire. Bit brimstone just to spit this fire. The damn mission of a writer. Opportunity called, I said be right up. His work closed regardless of the attire. Bit brimstone just to spit this fire. The damn mission of a writer. Now everything's doing exactly as it should. I figured out all the bugs. Worry observations, righteous discussions, unite people. It's the Word Up Podcast, and I am your host, OMNI, ETC, Omni, etc. Listen, we back at it. We back keeping it trill. Let's keep it trill. Let's keep it trill, folks. We back keeping it trill. And there's been some new developments that have come across my desk. Because all of these stories I'll really be breaking down, and it's the stories, but it's really the ideologies and sifting through what does and does not work for us. When I say us, I mean my people, our people. Not necessarily a particular skin color, but anybody that rocks with the Omniverse in any way, shape, or form, whether it be the music, the podcasting, or whatnot, you're my people. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. And so, you know what I'm saying, here at the Word Up Podcast, our people, the people that came to have a deeper discussion. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things going on, a lot of people, I understand people have busy days, so we don't really get an opportunity to digest long form content in the ways that we have in the past. We're always trying to either survive in or beat the rat race, trying to earn back our time, buy back our time, trying to invest, trying to run businesses, things of this nature, working jobs, my 9-to-5 folks. Mad respect for my 9-to-5 folks, because I'm a 9-to-5. Well, I'm a 9-to-5er in reverse, because I do 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So I still get it. But excuse me, I just had a great lunch actually. Very healthy lunch. Chickpea fritter, chickpea onion fritter. I might do some recipes on my Instagram. Check out my Instagram, not the one down here, but check out this one, Word Up Podcast Instagram. Hit it up on IG, check it out. You'll be able to find, it's easier to find a lot of the stories that I've already broken down in the bite-sized pieces. Like I was saying, a lot of people don't have time to digest long-form content because we're doing so many things today. As opposed to yesteryear. So a lot of the information we get is via clips and things. So I try to give people grace when it comes to that understanding that I have, is that, a lot of people take a clip and run with it as opposed to take a clip and actually do the due diligence and try to find the actual context in the long form conversation. But I'm only going to give you, when it comes to me, I'm going to give you that grace about one time. Because if we keep running into the same problems, like I keep having to tell you, that's a clip. It's not the long form conversation that we were having. Over here at the Word Up Podcast, we're long form minded, meaning that we'll actually look at the full context of something. We'll look at the full context, and that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to look at the full context and not just go off of a clip of something somebody else said or did. We're going to look at the actual situation that actually happened in real time. And let me get my macros up to make sure I got the right. With that said, is that the right one? Yeah. See, I gotta call. Hold on, let me change something real quick. There we go. Sting. All right. Gotta label my stuff appropriately now. I'll be duplicating stuff back here, and then it causes a copy. But with that said, of us being long form minded individuals, let's jump on in. Now, if you would, bit of housekeeping, hit the like, subscribe, as well as the notification bell. Helps out the channel a whole bunch. What we need is more subscribers, more people to have the conversation with. So again, hit this like, the subscribe, and the notification bell, and set that notification bell to all if you don't mind, so you make sure that you don't miss a thing that I'm about to roll out. So we were talking about Bun B, and the question on the thumbnail still stands. That's why I continue to use it. What makes one a snitch? What makes one a snitch? Does the anti-snitching thing actually serve us? I think it does to a certain degree. Because this is what I truly believe. What I believe is something that the men that I was growing up around did for us young when we were boys, right? Was they instilled a certain sense of code, certain sense of ethics, certain level of morale within us. They instilled us with morals. Within those morals, there was this thing that was always echoed, right? Hold on, let me make sure my mic, because my mic doesn't seem to be micing the way that it should be. So let me make sure that my mic is micing. Hold on, folks. But I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna lean in for a second. So what is that? The input? Yeah, that's the input. Let me see. Properties. See, it's always changing my mic levels for some reason. There we go. Now I should be much better. But let me bring it closer to my face. So, what the men did for us growing up as young men was instill a certain set of morals in us.
And what they did was, in those morals, in those principles, certain things was echoed. One thing in particular is the decisions you make, you got to stand behind wholeheartedly. Whatever decision you make, you got to stand behind. That means good, bad, right, or wrong. Whatever comes with it, you got to take what comes with it. So if you make a good decision, sure, you're going to be entitled to everything that comes with it, the accolades, the achievements, the acknowledgments, the celebrations, what have you. But if you make the wrong decision and you still made that decision, you got to stand behind that as well. So all the downsides, the punishments, the convictions, the charges, the criminal time, the allegations, the like I said, the punishments, the risks, all the downsides that come with making the wrong choice. You got to stand behind it. Either way. So you better know what you're getting into before you get into it. Because that's how you're going to be judged. So we understood at early ages what would happen behind the decisions that we make, and how it would affect us and the ones around us. It's a very special thing, and that's why I moved the way that I move in a lot of instances, because it's a very special thing that was done for us to give us that compass to navigate through life. So when we talk about snitching, to me, as an individual who's not in the streets, to me, based off of the principles and morals and ethics that I grew up on, if you make a decision to do something and all of a sudden you don't want to face the penalties, the consequences, or the punishments behind that decision that you made, and so then you go ahead and tell on somebody else or get someone else involved, or because that person got away with it and you had to deal with the consequences but they necessarily didn't, and you go ahead and you tell on people that you were involved with, even though they got away and you didn't, and you're getting all the consequences just so that you could be let off or you get a lighter sentence. To me, that's snitching. In Bun B's case, in Bun B's case in particular, somebody invaded his home. An assailant came to attack him and his wife. Didn't know that him and his wife were there, but it came to invade him and his wife's home. Came to steal, destroy, kill. And so after Bun did what he did, and we're going to do a quick recap of him detailing the events on the Breakfast Club. After Bun did what he did, after he shot him and the kid was still alive, what he did was, make sure that, hold on 1 second. I need to make sure something myself. What he did was make sure that some form of justice would be brought to his home for the sake of his wife's mental capacity, sake of his wife's peace of mind, his peace of mind, that this man was brought to justice. I believe and I maintain That Bun B did exactly what he was supposed to do in that situation. He got up off the toilet, got the pistol, and got busy. And then after that, and the kid ran off, got away, what have you, and he let him live, but he had his face, facial recognition, and had all the details that he needed to have. After that was done, he took him to court. He didn't go headhunting. He didn't go find him at a later date. He took him to court. This Bun B is a civilian. I mean, look at that smile. Look at that man. He's a civilian. He's a civilian. He's not ripping and running in the streets no more. But the thing that I find is that to a certain extent, I understand it from that the morals that I just laid out from you. But I do think when we get so far in the rhetoric of no snitching and the ideology of no snitching, that means that you're not able to defend yourself in court. You, under no circumstances, should take the stand at any point in time when you were done wrong by somebody. I think that has a detrimental impact to what we do and how we operate in society and our ability to operate in society. I think that has a fundamental detrimental impact, because that means every way that, and I'm going to talk to my black folks, okay, not just my folks, but my black folks. That means every which way that we have to solve a problem has to come down to violence. There's no other way to solve a disagreement. There's no other way to settle a debt. There's no other way for us to get justice for when we are wronged. Every time I have to take your life. And I think that logic is inherently flawed. That is not even logical. That ideology is inherently flawed. But get with me down in the comments. Let me know what you think. I want to know what your perspective is. To me, it's flawed. You can't tell me much of anything. To me, it's highly flawed. But let's get back to, let's get a, hold on, no, we gotta do it on this one.
For fathers and sons.
All right, let's get back to what the story was of Bun B and what had happened while we're here, and then we'll go into what has happened today. All right. All right.
Right. And I'm like so proud of her for, not only how she handled herself. Her only thought was to protect me.
She thought they were coming for
because
you.
in the moment, her assumption is that this person has come to get me. Right. She doesn't know.
Oh shit, we got a troll in the chat. Butterfly Jones. Listen, we don't do the SBG over here. We don't do none of that over here. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Butterfly Jones. Got a bone to pick with you, all right? Talking about SBG, jumping with her. Don't you know I'm unaffiliated? I do what I want to do. I do what I do. I have no affiliation. Don't make me take your wrench. No, I'm playing with you. No, but salute to Butterfly Jones in the chat. Messing with me on Nightish's panel earlier today. You know what I'm saying? I get why people make certain assertions. I have a whole show called Side Effects of Proximity. Okay, so I get it. I absolutely get it. The side effects of proximity. You know what I mean? I get it, and I understand. When you stand too close to people for an extended period of time, people think that your ideas align with them. But if they actually watch, again, like I said earlier before you came in, and salute to you coming in on Love. Before you came in, I was just breaking down how, you know what I'm saying, over here, we're long form minded. We don't take clips out of context. We break down the whole thing. We don't, you know what I'm saying, just look at something somebody else said. We look at the actual situation. So, the actual situation is, look, man, me and Sharon disagree on a lot of things. Honestly, I don't think there's anything. This is my thing. This is my thing. And I'll say it here. When it comes to Sharon Bracey, Brownsville, I think they get it right more so than they get it wrong. It's just that people take like the 10% that you get wrong and try to make it 100%. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's my take on it. Now, there's some things happening today that are more egregious. I'm going to have to mine out through in that space and whatever. But I think the core concept of being solutions based, I think the core concept of the show is absolutely great. I think the core concept of the show and what it's intended to be is to be a show based on solutions. I think that's dope. And I always have. This is why I've supported Sharon. But, you know, when he started going left, I got to get up out of there. It is what it is. when he no, you good. No, and he is, for sure, he's a genius. For sure, he's a genius. But when he starts to go left, and I'm glad we get to talk about this. When he starts to go left, I gotta get up out of there because it's like, look, I already done told you I don't rock with this. I already done told you, so he can't get mad. I already told you this is where we disagree at, so he can't get mad. But you know what I'm saying, everything else when he has the balance. I was there a couple of days ago, and when he has the balanced conversation, when there's a balanced conversation to be had, oh yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna show the brother love every time. But when it started, you know what I'm saying, when it started going left, I gotta go ghost. I gotta hit the Danny Phantom on him. I gotta hit the Danny Phantom on him, man. I gotta hit the Danny Phantom. You know what I'm saying? But salute to you, Butterfly Jones. I see you updated your pick. I'm gonna have to see. I see you updated your pick, sir. You know what I'm saying? Look fresh. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you. Salute to you. Yeah, so let's break down this Bun B. These allegations against Bun B, the slander, I believe it to be slander, of him being a certified snitch. Egregious.
No, it's a random act at the time. So she thinks this person has come to kill me. So she's like, I need to hold this person here until Bun can get to the gun. And even if he kills me, I know Bun's going to kill him. But usually the two people that would die in this situation would be me and her.
Right.
So her thing was just like, I'll take that loss, but I know Bun will avenge me and kill this dude.
Right.
That's what she's thinking.
Man, God bless black women, man.
You
Lord
know,
have mercy. Round of applause for black women.
People think I'm the hero in this situation.
No, she's the hero.
But she's the hero.
Right,
Because if she doesn't
you're
stall
both
him out. Well, if she doesn't stall him out, I don't get to the pistol.
So now
know?
you heard the commotion downstairs?
Yeah. And I'm in the bathroom, like, you know, just to be honest, I'm on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? And so I hear what's going on, and I'm like, this is it. This is the moment I always talk about. Somebody's in my house right now threatening my wife. So I hop off the toilet, I run, I go get the pistol.
Did you wipe? No, I'm just kidding.
Shut up, man. God damn. Can you be serious?
Go ahead.
But yeah, and I just ran and got the pistol, and the whole time I'm forgetting. I'm not taking into consideration that I'm Winnie the Pooh right now. You know what I'm saying?
No pants on.
Winnie the Pooh with the pistol, and I get it, and when I get down, I get around. So we're in the 3-story place, and so I go up to the 3rd floor to get the gun. And when I come back down to the 2nd floor, I don't hear anything. So I go down the stairs. I cocked the gun just to make sure one was in the chamber, which it usually is, and there was. So that one bullet, you know, ejected out of flew out the pistol. And I turned the corner. She's like, Bun, don't go out there. That's not even a thought. I'm going out there. At this time, I don't know if it's 2 dudes. I don't know how many people it was. I don't know what's on the other side of that door. But whatever it was threatened my wife, so I'm finna go out there and address it.
That's right.
You know?
The thing about it, when he came in, well,
I never got to turn the knob, the bottom knob. I was slowly turning the deadbolt, and I guess by me not being able to see him, he had to been holding on to the knob. That's the only knob he could hold on. So some kind of way, I remember I looked up because I'm looking down to retrieve a package that we do all the time.
Right.
So when I looked up, he had the gun right here.
Wow.
And so he was backing me back and at the same time locking the door. So he was trying to lead me up my steps, and I was like, I can't go up these steps because he going to catch Bun on the toilet. Both of us going to be dead.
Right.
He got to kill one of us. So me thinking fall.
Understand how real that is. Understand how real that situation is. She answered the door thinking it was Amazon. She was answering the door thinking it was Amazon, UPS, FedEx, something like that. She thinks she's getting the package delivered. It's a man with a gun putting it right on top of her head. Right at a dome piece. Chrome piece to the dome piece. And she knows that her husband is in the upstairs toilet. And she has the wherewithal to say, even though she's, in fear of her life, she still has the wherewithal to say to herself, nah, I can't take him upstairs, because she's being protective of her husband. Queenie is a textbook example of everything that a wife should be. Queenie is a textbook example of everything that a wife should be. Let's continue.
I fell at the bottom of the steps and slid to the floor. I balled up in a knot, and every time I did this and looked up, he had the gun right here. The barrel of the gun was so cold, and he had it in a black glove hand. He had two gloves on, but one was blue and one was black. So he put it here, and he kept telling me, he was like, give me what you got. Give me everything you got. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I'm in shock that this is happening to me.
Right.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Give me everything you got, or else I'm going to kill you. And I shook. I'm like, wait, what? And in between him telling me this, he looks over and notices I have a bedroom. So when I seen him looking towards the bedroom, I started saying, just take my car, because I didn't want him to take me in that bedroom and rape me and do whatever he wanted to do.
Right.
And so I don't know, in between the time that I got up off the floor, no, I was still on the floor when he asked, he heard the footsteps. Both of us heard the footsteps. I know the layout of my house. Then that's when he goes, how many floors you have? I go, 4. And he says, okay, who is that up there? I say, that's my husband. He said, tell your husband don't come down.
At this point, I'm moving. I hear what's going on, and I'm moving.
Steps that Bun is headed to get the gun. So I'm steady screaming, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. He said, I'm going to kill you if you come down. I'm like, please don't kill me, please don't hurt me, because I see he looking at the bedroom. And so at the same time, he goes, I say, I could hear Bun getting closer. I say, Bun, don't come down. Because he told me 3 times not to tell him don't come down, but he didn't know it was Bun. So when I noticed when I said Bun, he startled, because he was heading for the bedroom. He startled. And I was like, okay, to myself, I'm saying, he don't know where he at. So I made it a point myself. I said, Bun, don't come down the stairs. Please don't come down. And that's when he asked me for the keys to my car. Right. I've been trying to offer you my car for the last 3 minutes. You didn't want it.
Right.
So he said, where's the keys? And I said, I keep them in my car. I just, back in the garage, I keep them in my car. Okay, what door is that? That's the garage. So I don't know what happened, how I got up off the floor. But the entire time when I was on the floor, I didn't feel like I was going to die. I felt protected because when I looked up at him, he put the gun back in my face, and all I could see was his eyeballs and something white right here on his neck. So.
And then that was like he had an emoji ski mask on.
Y'all had a shootout in the garage, right? What?
Yeah, that's
so
after I had
after she led him out to the car.
Okay.
And once I see I'm stuck in the garage with him, so I'm steady trying to press the garage door to let it up, but it keep going so slow. So I'm so nervous. I'm pushing. It's going up, down, up, down. And then he said, "Open up the damn garage." And I just laid on it, and it just started coming up. And I looked out my peripheral view, and I seen him get in the car. And once he got in the car, I jumped back in the house. Mm-hmm. My thing was to lock the door, but as I was going back in, I was trying to let the garage door down to keep him in there. But thank God for the Audi, because he couldn't figure out how to start it. Because the push button is over on the passenger side. So he in there looking, and I noticed he was looking when I ran back in the house. So I met Bun at the door as I was getting ready to close. Bun was getting ready to open it. And I was pleading with him, don't go out there because he got a gun. He going to shoot.
Bun like, I got a gun too.
I got a gun too. I'm definitely, I don't know if he going to shoot, but I'm definitely going to shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, I don't know what's on the other side. So I just go through the door and I look and I don't see, the garage door is up and I don't see a person. So then I look in the car and I see his head and his body turn back towards me. And that's when I just let that thing go.
You think when he said Bun, you said Bun, he realized it was Bun B, and then he just wanted to get out.
He wanted to leave. Yeah.
At that point.
I see you got your lawyer here. Is it because they trying to press some charges against you?
No, but just trying. Well, first of all, he's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
Usually when he finds out I'm going to New York, he wants to come anyway.
Okay.
He's a big museum comedy show guy. Hangs out with Colin Quinn and stuff like that. So he's going to want to come to New York anyway. But then because we're friends more than just attorneys, he's always in a position to try to protect us. He's really here to make sure Queenie's okay. He knows I'm a big boy, I'll be all right. But he's here really more for, support and just to make sure, we don't overtalk ourselves,
like,
I guess.
if Bun would have done what he did in New York,
he'd be in trouble.
He'd be in jail right
Absolutely.
now.
Which is so
you
whack.
gotta retreat to your furthest point.
Facts. The gun laws are so strict in fucking New York. It's ridiculous. I said it on the last one. This is part 2, but refer to part 1 for my thoughts on gun laws and whatnot. This is, oh my God.
In Texas, you do not. And I don't want to call it racism, but, at first, before I heard from the DA's office that they weren't going to pursue anything, because Bun didn't stop there. There was a gun battle.
And then he chased him down.
Bun got dressed. I would have found a dude, run him over, shot him in the head, put a gun in his hand, been done with it, right? Not Bun. Okay, Bun gets dressed, gets his gun, goes and finds him, just asks him to unmask so he can see who he is.
Because I already know if I pop him on the street, it's a case.
Right.
If I kill him on the street away from the scene outside of my house and there's no more threat, at that point, I'm the threat.
Right.
I'm the aggressor, and I go to jail. Right. I just need to know who this dude is.
But
I need to know. And I told him, I said, but if you take this mask off and I know you, I'm killing you. You know what I'm saying? I apologize. I don't know if I was supposed to say it.
No, I mean, but you didn't. You
let
it go.
You didn't.
Bun didn't know he was shot.
But I wanted him to get that mask off. And at that time, I didn't know he was shot. After the officers came over and they looked at how, what I did to the car, they was like, no, this dude is shot. This dude is hit. He's going to turn up in the hospital tonight. And about an hour and a half later, he did.
Well, and that's what's amazing. So he's sitting in the front seat of that Audi. Bun's shooting a 40 with hollow points. I used to be an officer before I was an attorney. So he hits the headrest twice. They expand and stop in the headrest. Hits the back of the seat 4 times. They expand and stop. And I mean, the dude should have just been American car. You're just filled with bullets, right? But Audi, I don't know. But the guy shot back. It was a legitimate gun battle. Like Bun only pulled the trigger when he sees the dude turning around. He pulls twice.
I pulled 5. I shot like 5 times. Right. And then I took like a step closer to see if I hit him because I'm like, I know I got it. And then I heard like a pop. But it wasn't like what I was popping, right? Because my gun's loud.
Wow.
Yeah. But I heard like a firecracker, like a pop, and I'm like, oh, is he trying? And I just hit it again.
God damn.
And I hit it with everything. I let the rest of the clip go, and he falls out of the car and throws his gun down and started pleading for his life. And I would have shot him again, but that one bullet I ejected out of the gun, that would have been the bullet that killed him.
No, he wouldn't have. But,
so this was all in the garage, and this was after.
Yeah.
So right now, what we're seeing is the headrest of the Audi, and that thing is shredded. That thing is mangled. I don't have an Audi, so I can't tell you if that hole on the side there, that huge hole on the side there, is like if that's a design because it looks too clean. That might just be how it designs to let the leather breathe, to let the air out. But you can see like in the middle, he was aiming for the head. He's got shot in the head, neck. That's like chin area. And then there's a bulge in there where I could tell that there was an impact point there. Because what happens is with gun wounds is like where it penetrates, like it will actually inflame. And leather, if that's authentic leather, I don't know if it's faux leather. I don't know if faux leather does the same thing. But faux leather is essentially hide. Like regular leather is essentially animal skin, and then faux leather is like supposed to be some sort of polymer that looks like it's supposed to give the same effect. So when leather stretches and then tries to go back into place, it bulges, which lets me know that right there was an impact point as well. Even though it doesn't look like it's ripped through, but that indentation, if you can see that small indentation, it looks like someone took their finger and pressed up against the bulge. That was also an impact point. So the leather stretched back, and then when it went back into place, it bulged out, which lets me know that, yeah, Bun was not playing with this kid at all. He was not playing. He was giving no fucks. And the kid still lived. So God was in that garage with him.
Queen just showed me the car. My God.
Yeah, so there's the exit wound right there of the headrest and all of that. Yeah.
So he drove away still?
No, he ran away.
And then all through the side of the car. Damn. So Bun came in. He must have been shooting from the side right here. This is what I imagine I would do. Because the way that most garages are set up, you walk in through the side door. It's not a door you don't face the cars as soon as you walk in. You walk in through the side. So you're on the side of the car. So Bud must have been ripping through. He must have been letting the clip fly and then walking sideways to the front while he's letting it, you know what I'm saying, while he's squeezing off. So he's peppering his car to make sure that this thing is riddled, and hopefully the guy in it is riddled with bullets, because he doesn't know where he is in the car, clearly. I mean, he's got tinted windows, so he's not entirely sure where he is in the car. There's heavily tinted windows on your vehicle, so you're not really sure of where the body is in the car, if he's ducking as soon as you start firing, things like that. So, yeah, I can totally see how this unfolded.
Okay, he ran
Jumped the
away.
fence, got down at this neighbor, got on the fanning on the street. Bun runs upstairs, gets some shorts, gets another loaded firearm, and then goes and finds him, but completely rationally, like a G. Like I would have been, my name is Charles Adams. My nickname's Big Angry. I'd have been crazy, right? But Bun was very calm. I need to identify him. I need to make sure that he's not one of my circle or one of the people attached to my circle. He didn't know it was random at the time. They didn't know what was going on, and it was just a burglar. And I think really, and I hate to say respect on my name, but I think when Queenie said Bun's name, I mean, you could demand respect. Bun has earned respect in Houston.
He was like, damn.
And
In
the
the
guy
world.
knew that this wasn't right. But, one of the things that struck me the oddest was I was getting East Coast and West Coast journalism calls, because until the DA's office told me he was clear, I had to take the calls. I always got the, well, can Bun have a gun? And it's like, what, are you asking me that question because he's a black man? Are you asking me because he's a hip-hop artist? No, he has no criminal history, right?
Yeah, because he's a black man and because he's a hip-hop artist. Can Bun have a gun? That's going to be the first question, unfortunately. That's going to be their first question. That's going to be their first question. But, okay, so we got Bun's details of what happened. We see why it's taking so long, why it's taken 5 years, even though the guy confessed right away. It's taken 5 years because as soon as they get you in the system any sort of type of way, even as the plaintiff, they want to see if they got something that they can run on you, if you got any warrants, things of that nature, even if it's not pertinent to the case. If you got any active warrants, they can act on said warrant. You know what I'm saying? I found that out. It was something I had a bench warrant for a traffic violation. Calm the fuck down. I had a bench warrant for a traffic violation from a while back that didn't show up. I got caught up in something else. Police showed up. And then even though I was in distress with one thing, they wanted to throw the warrant in my face. Got everything taken care of, so nothing's on my record or anything like that. But yeah, that was a stressful situation to deal with just because I was a black male in America dealing with a certain thing. So they felt like running my information just to see if I was a criminal. Anyway, let's go over here. Fox 26 Houston. This is brought to us by Fox 26 Houston. This is where we're at now and the justice that they have gotten. Man was sentenced to 40 years, apparently. Let's check it out. Fair use, and again, fair use.
Uncensored, a follow-up to a story we have been reporting on since 2019. That's 5 years. A man named DeMonte Jackson broke into rapper Bun B's home. He has been sentenced today to 40 years in prison. 4 decades. As we've reported, Bun gave some emotional testimony on the stand yesterday, recounting the trauma his wife Queenie felt about Jackson putting a gun to her face. I spoke with Bun's attorney, Charles Adams. He says he believes the couple finally received justice today.
It took 5 years to get a conclusion to this case.
Yes, sir. It was very unusual, right? He pled guilty years ago, right, to a judge that's no longer on the bench, a judge that was even too liberal for the incredibly liberal Harris County sensibilities, decided after he pled guilty to give him a bond so he could show him if he was going to behave well enough to be on deferred adjudication. Deferred adjudication probation for forcing his way into a woman's house and putting a gun on her forehead, threatening her life, then shooting at her husband. Absolutely disgusting. And then what did this criminal do? He went out and he got charged with 3 federal felonies, including stealing a mail truck and driving onto an airport tarmac. Went to federal prison.
And this is before this case
This
is
is
over
before
with.
this case is over, while he was on that bond. Then he gets sent back here. We heard testimony in this hearing that he was bullying older inmates at the Harris County Jail, stealing people's commissary, threatening people, assaulting people, throwing bottles at guards, had to get moved from tank to tank to tank because he was a de facto tank boss. And his pre-sentence investigation denied putting that gun to Queenie Freeman's head, claimed that he thought it was a vacant house when they got video from their doorbell camera of him forcing himself in. And Judge Warren listened to all this. He listened to a defense counsel argue that it wasn't really him. It was mental illness. It was drug addiction. His parents talked about how he struggled, but then admitted that he was a football star, that he had 2 cars and a moped, that he had a pretty nice life, that he went to junior college with the intent of playing football and decided to throw it all away and almost took the life of one of my closest friends doing it. Judge Warren listened to 2 days of that nonsense and gave him 40 years in prison.
When you had an opportunity to see and witness and be there with your friends, Queenie and Bun B, and see Bun B break down on the stand and just what Queenie had to go through over the last 5 years dealing with this. What was that like for you as a friend seeing all of this?
Well, it was incredibly powerful, right? I have not seen Bernard. We spent a lot of time together. I've never seen him cry, right? I've never seen him show that level of emotion. And it was all born from a space of frustration because he talked about how his wife's anxiety just took hold of him. She never went back in that house the next day. She left, never turned around. That was their home that they loved. It took so much from her. And as a husband, he didn't feel like he could fix it. And that led to a lot of frustration for him and just real sincere agony and anguish. And
so The woman was traumatized. Queenie, Bun B's wife. Let's mind this out. Right? Bun B's wife was traumatized to the point where she couldn't even return to their home that they had built a life together in. The king in his castle and his queen in the castle. He been ripping and running in the streets of Houston for so many years. The saga that he had with Pimp C, the legendary saga with him, UGK and Pimp C and all of that, to him doing his own thing, trying to get out after his best friend passed, him becoming a businessman, branching out into things other than just rap music and hip hop. He got Trill burgers. I'm gonna have to try a Trill burger someday. Shout out to Bun B. And after he's accomplished so much, made himself into an honorable tax-paying citizen, after being an honorable man, being a husband. I don't know if they got kids. Didn't do that bit of research, but if he does, salute to, if he is a father, salute to that as well. They built a life together, and just in a brief, 5 to 15 minute time span, now your wife can't go back into the home anymore because it just reminds her of the time that a barrel was pointed at her head and she almost lost her life. You shot at the assailant. You hit him. He wound up in the hospital later. But you didn't kill him. And so now that everybody knows who this assailant is and whatnot, you're supposed to kill him in broad daylight and also take you, the husband, away from your wife. Because at the end of the day, it's not about doing what's best for the queen. It's about doing what's best for your ego. And to say that, you know what I'm saying, you shot a Negro. Or you can go this route, take the stand, testify against the person that meant to do you ill will and harm, put their ass away for 40 years, which is going to be most of their natural born life. And, you won't have to deal with that particular person ever again on the streets or coming into your crib. And you get to be home with your wife and work through her trauma so that y'all can reach a place of healing. Which option sounds more constructive and which one sounds more destructive? Killing the assailant, going to jail yourself for doing so? Or taking a stand, testifying, recounting the same story that you said on the radio, that nobody had a problem with you telling your story on the radio, but the moment that you're found in a courtroom saying the exact same thing, even though they could have taken the audio from the Breakfast Club and used that as evidence anyway. No one had a problem with you saying it on the Breakfast Club, but the moment that you say it in the context of the courtroom, all of a sudden you're snitching. Okay. Now, you take the stand to protect your wife so she doesn't have to worry about this person out there ever again in life for the rest of y'all's lives. May y'all live long and live well. You're putting him away for the duration of his for the majority of his natural born existence in this phase of existence. And you get to sleep at night knowing that he's no longer on the street. He's not going to do it again. And your wife doesn't have to worry about this particular person invading the sanctity and the sanctuary of your home ever again. Or you could have killed it, or you could have deleted him, and then he turn around and, well, not he turn around, but the system could have turned around and put you in jail for the same amount of time, if not longer. Now the next time something happens, where are you to protect your wife? This is what I mean by say, does the snitching thing actually serve us at the end of the day, depending on the circumstances? Everybody on the internet have their own opinion, and I have no choice but to accept and respect that. But if we're going to break down the morals, the ethics, the obligations, the duty behind the principles, then I think the fine-tuning of the lexicon is in order. And I think that when it comes to snitching, the policy should be, if you did the dirt, don't expect to come out clean. If you did the dirt, you got to be willing to accept whatever consequences come with that. If you did the dirt, you got to be willing to accept whatever consequences come with that. You don't tell on another person just because they did it too and they got away with it. No, you're going to take yours because you chose to do this. They didn't choose it for you. It's always about choice. In my eyes. It's always about choice. You chose to do it, then you chose to take the time that came with it. Yeah, you chose it to hit a lick for like 20 racks, but now you're doing like 10 to 15. You should have looked at it that way as well. Well, I'm hitting this lick for 20 racks, but am I really up to do 10 to 15 behind 20,000? When that's really less than half of the annual salary of most people working a 9-to-5 in America? You hitting a lick for 20 racks when you could have just went to the job and got, no, I'm not going to do that one. I think if more people had that sort of thinking about themselves, they would be less likely to pull this dumb shit. And the worst part about this story is that that boy apparently comes from a good home. Now, when I say good home, they had 2 vehicles, he had 2 cars, a moped, what have you. So that father was, I guess, being more of a friend than a father to his son, which is a whole different other thing to get into. However, focusing on what the son's actions were, focusing on what that boy's actions were. He was supposed to be a football star, and he chose to throw his life away. They tried to make the boy. It's crazy that as soon as your kid gets in trouble, that you try to do the, oh, he didn't know no better because he's slow. You know, usually in any other context, the black child is the most intelligent, the smartest, the brightest, and at the moment that they get in trouble, oh, he's slow, he didn't know no better, da-da-da-da-da. You're trying to make all sorts of excuses for him, and that's what leads him to be a weak male. At the end of the day, that leads him into being a weak male. You making all these excuses for your son is making him weaker in life. It's not making him stronger, because he's not going to have the level of resilience that he needs to. That's why he was in there or playing thug, trying to rob somebody for fun, when he comes from a good home. He was trying to take from somebody else because internally he's weak. He doesn't have the fortitude to do the right thing. Let's get back to the video because I want to see where else this goes. I haven't seen this one from Fox, so we're watching this in real time. Let's get back to it.
And I mean, he did a great job with his testimony, but it's because he was telling the truth. And I think anyone that saw it, I mean, I'm going to be honest, there's tears running down my face, and I don't like to cry either, right? I think the rule is you only cry if something happens to your mama or your dog, right? That's about it. But it was amazing. But when Queen got on the stand, the courage that she showed, right? In fact, the defendant left the room while she was testifying to go watch it by Zoom, but that was at the request of defense counsel, trying, in my opinion, to mitigate her emotion by manipulating the situation. It didn't work. She held strong. She gave her testimony. She clearly conveyed to the judge how this impacted her life and every horrible detail, how she was struggling to save her husband's life by begging him not to come downstairs, and that he still did it nonetheless because he was going down there to try to save his wife's life. It shows you a beautiful relationship, and I thank God they got the justice they deserved, Isaiah.
And when you look at the sentence of 40 years, do you think that's enough? That's appropriate
Oh, I
for
think it's
this
appropriate.
crime?
In Harris County right now, you're seeing people commit murder and get half that time. So this was so important to the DA's office, they assigned a felony division chief, Tiffany Dupree, along with the courtroom prosecutor, Morgan Klein. And those were two of the finest prosecutors I've ever seen practicing law in my life. They both did an amazing job. They built an excellent case. They had an expert witness there to push back on the nonsense that he was mentally ill, and that's the reason he did it. And it was just a great job by the Harris County DA's office, and I think it was a perfect sentence handed down by Judge Warren.
All right, Charles, thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored.
Thank you for having me.
So look, man, when it comes to Bun B, whether or not he's, y'all need to, I think y'all need to cut it the fuck out. Straight up and down. Straight up and down. Like, him being a snitch, it's erroneous. He didn't do the crime with it. He was the one that was, I'm not even gonna call him a victim because he came out in the garage blasting. Y'all saw all the holes. Y'all saw all the holes in that car. I'm not even gonna say that he was a victim, but he was the one that was the intended victim. He was the one that was the intended victim. He was the one and who was enjoying his day, minding his own business, and disruption and chaos and confusion went and visited his doorstep. I think he did everything he was supposed to in the scenario. But that's all the time I have for today. I did want to get into the Young Thug trial because that kind of goes into what I'm talking about when it comes to morals and principles. But it's not going to be a part 2, but I think I'm going to make that its own separate thing. Because something happened interesting with the lawyer. I suggest y'all check it out. Go ahead, Google Brian Steele, and then we'll go ahead and talk about this on the next one. With that said, peace, love, health, wealth to you all. Worry, observations, righteous discussions, unite people. It's the Word Up Podcast, and I've been your host, OMNIETC, Omni, etc. Let me know what you think down in the comments section, what your take is of the whole situation. What you think? Do you still think that Bun B was snitching? Or do you think that majority of the internet got him fucked up and, you know what I'm saying, he did what he was supposed to as a man, as a protector, as a provider, as the king of his castle and of his domain, that he held it down, that he held down his household and his wife in a time of crisis, like I believe? Or do you think he's a snitch for taking up the stand and he should have killed the boy? Deleted the boy, excuse me. Sorry, YouTube. Peace, love, health, wealth to you all. And I'm out.